Welcome back. Hang on one second. Let's get this screen up. Yeah, check on the chat. Come on back in. I know some of you are just finishing getting signed up, and you're watching that screen swirl in the background. And you're saying, "Well, can I come back on? Come back over to the training. You're going to get an email confirmation in a few minutes, letting you know that everything's rolling, everything's great, and it'll take a couple minutes for that to come through." All right, let's all go into the chat. And so before, I was getting started, I didn't really have a chance to pay attention to the chat because I was doing the presentation. But I would love it if you just indulge me, if you just share with me in the chat. Unless you're driving a car or flying an airplane, then don't do this. But for the rest of you, just put in the chat where you're joining me from, because I would love to see and start to put some of the names together with the locations. I know we've got folks in from all over the place there. John's in Ohio. Let's see where we got some other folks in from. South Carolina, New Hampshire, Yvette Eldridge, welcome. Yvette Eldridge, South Carolina. Yvette Eldridge is one of the top leaders in the New England area here. John is in South Carolina, welcome. Michelle's in New York City. Michelle Bonner is somewhere between New York and Atlanta all the time. Lisa Day is in Maine, another big leader in New England. David Campbell, Naples, Florida. Welcome, David. So glad you're here. Colorado Springs. Indiana, Kathy Minnick. Welcome, Kathy. And I missed a few. Oh, Karen Ward's in New Mexico. All right. Welcome. So let's talk about getting started. And I'm going to have you just stick with me here. We're going to be done by the top of the hour. I just want to start by saying, whether you just joined today during this 5-minute break, or you joined yesterday or last week, you joined the right company. And I kind of alluded to this a little bit during the presentation, but your timing is impeccable. Right now, we have more than 700 ring earners. I'm going to share with you what that is in a second, but we're minting new ring earners on an almost weekly basis. So some of you already know this, but we have this significant recognition program for rings. And I got to start keeping mine out here for this presentation, but and I know there's some behind me. I don't know if they're in the camera shot, but you get a ring. They start at $50,000. So, and it's for a 12-month period. Any 12 months, it doesn't have to be January to December, but in any 12-month period, you earn $50,000. You get the $50,000 ring. And then we have another ring for $100,000. We have one at $150,000. We have one at $200,000. We have one at $300,000, and they go up incrementally, $400,000, $500,000, all the way to $1 million in a 12-month period. And I just want you to know this, we have people who've earned all of those rings. So we have people that have all of those rings. So whatever ring level is your goal, you will not be the first person to accomplish that. Now, I know some of you want to be the pioneers and break through, but I think that you should feel good about that, knowing that this is a company where these things have been done and proven that they can be done, because you probably looked at opportunities in the past, or you've been involved in businesses where there was these bars that were set for you, and you realize, it sounds good, but nobody's reaching that. We have people reaching every summit of every mountain. We have this other program called Millionaires Club. And Millionaires Club is a recognition when you've earned a minimum of $1 million in your career with the company. And we have people, now we have over 300 Millionaire Club members. I remember when I got started, there was not yet 100. And when I was early in my career, they had reached 100 Millionaire Club members. And I remember saying to myself, I'm going to be in the next 100. And that was the thing I would say with people in my team. I say, we're the next 100. I remember talking about that. And that's what happened. In that next 100, I was one of those Millionaire Club members. But now we're over 300 and growing all the time, breaking new Millionaire Club members. And some of the people that are Millionaire Club members have earned, excuse me, $5 million, $10 million, $20 million, $40 million in their career with this company. So you're joining the right company at the right time. And as I said in the training, in the presentation, over 30,000 associates are now earning monthly residual income. So that means that they have signed up some people for these services. And not only did they get a 1-year advance commission, but then starting in month 13, they started getting monthly residual income. 30,000 people our company is sending out those deposits to on a monthly basis. And so let's talk about the training you need. We got 14 minutes left. I'm going to go quick, because what I'm doing today is directing you to what you need to know. and really just being one of the first voices to welcome you to the business, and also to let you know that nothing is missing. The system is simple, and the system is simple on purpose. This is Darnell Self. He's our Executive Vice President of Network and Business Development. He's a $1 million ring earner. And Mr. Self has been a mentor and has created an environment of leadership and growth for so many of us in this organization. You're going to see his name and you're going to hear trainings from Mr. Self a lot. And here's a quote from him. It says, "Everyone has a day one, just like you. I want you to embrace that. Every ring earner, every Millionaire Club member, every person, every one of those 30,000 people earning residual income, all had a day they started their business. And they started the same way you start your business. No customers, no team members. And that's the way it's supposed to be. So you are on the same path that every one of them have been on. I'm going to share with you now, and one of our leaders will put this in the chat as well, but you have a QR code if that's your thing, and you also have the website link. This is our First Step training site. So you go to pplsifirststep.com, and as I'm battling the last little bits of this, I'm here in my studio, which is in the basement. I said this to some folks before we started. All of the pollen that is torturing me went away outdoors when we had a big rainstorm a couple of days ago. But all the pollen that made its way in through open windows in our cars and in our home has not stopped terrorizing our family. So I'm suffering a little bit from that. But I've got tea for that, so I'm good. So pplsifirststep.com, hopefully you've all got that. I see it, Venus Powers put it in the chat. The training is available in English, Spanish, and French. You will find other trainings that are also available in American Sign Language, but this site is available in English, Spanish, and French, and closed captions. So if ASL is what you need, this isn't currently an ASL, but it is closed captions, so you'll be able to read along. And so when you get in here, you're going to hear a welcome message from Mr. Darnell Self, and then April Hurst is going to take you through the first step in getting started, which is making your list. April Hurst is a $200,000 ring earner out of the Ohio, Kentucky market, and she's going to walk you through exactly what you need to know. And by the way, you'll see it on the screen in the screenshot. It's 1:58. So these are not big, long trainings. This is exactly what you need to know. Nothing is missing. That's going to be my recurring theme here in the 11 minutes we still have together. Nothing is missing. So this is what you need to know. All right, so April Hurst is going to teach you how to make your list, and then David and Liz LeCue, Millionaire Club members, $200,000 ring earners, they're going to teach you how to get information in front of the people on that list. Because somebody shared with you the fact that our company exists, and now you're here with us. So you know that this system works. I just want to point it out to you so that you can understand. Like let's take a step back. Critical thinking skills. This works because you're here. So we want to teach you how to duplicate what was done to get this far, so that you can start to build your team. So David and Liz LeCue are going to talk to you in about 2 minutes 42 seconds on how to do that. This is Don Thompson. He's our president of the network division. He's going to walk you through how to register for Fast Start, and he's going to remind you how to get Fast Start qualified. Now that'll be in the training, but just so you know, our goal is to help you get your first success in this business. And your first success is really protecting a few families, getting started. We would love for you to get your first promotion. So there's a couple things here, and Mr. Thompson will talk about it, but getting your first deposit used to be a check, so we called it a belief check. And I still call it that because that's what we called it when I got started, a belief check. But just think about the psychology of that. Like right now, all of this is exciting, and it's like, okay, well, this seems like a great idea, but it will take a different, it will appear differently in your mind. It will feel differently in your heart when you get paid for protecting somebody with these services. Now, what I didn't have time to tell in the presentation was I was first introduced to the membership 10 years before I saw the business opportunity. So for 10 years, I told people about Legal Shield because it helped me a bunch of times, not just that first time where I got that $500 check from my landlord. It helped me a bunch of times And so I would tell, like, my mom had a plan, my grandparents had a plan, people had plans, memberships from Legal Shield, because I told them about it long before I was involved in the business. I was just recommending them. I didn't know about the business. So you have people right now that will buy a membership from you just because they have no idea Legal Shield exists. And then you're going to be the one who reveals it to them. And that'll help you get your first check, your belief check. It'll help you get your first promotion, which feels great. And if you get your first promotion in your first 20 days, we call that fast start qualifying, and you'll get a $100 bonus as well. This is Daniel Gonzalez. He's a $50,000 ring earner. He, in addition to helping you in this video, download the mobile apps so that you can run your business from anywhere. He oversees Legal Shield in Espanol. So if you speak Spanish or you have people in your list that speak Spanish, Daniel Gonzalez is going to be the guy that heads up that whole division, that makes sure that everything we have is available in Spanish as well as in English and French Canadian. All the documents, all the websites, all of that. That's his role in the company, as well as being an independent associate in the field with all of us. Anyway, he's going to help you with the mobile app. So I just want to share with you our success system. A little of this is just a little taste, because I want you to go to the first step training. But this is how simple our system is. First of all, you make your list. And there's a memory jogger in the training system. So it'll show you, this is what it looks like. And this just helps you think of people. And I remember when I made my first list, as a matter of fact, on my first list, this is a picture of me and Bill Sharon. Bill Sharon, him and his team have signed up 7,730 members so far. He lives in Atlanta now. He's from Rutland, Vermont, which is where I'm from. He was the first person on my list. And I remember thinking, well, I don't know if he's going to be interested. But in my training, they said, make a list of everyone you know and don't prejudge anyone. And I'm telling you that today. I'm sharing you with that, because if I had said, well, Bill's not going to be interested, it's not a list of people you think are going to be interested. Let people decide for themselves. If I had done that, if I had not followed the directions and followed the system, I would have missed out on having Bill Sharon in the business with me. And Bill, he was my first recruit, and I had no idea what I was doing. So Bill and I learned the business together, and we went on this journey together. And by the way, he's had a great career, as you can see. But sometimes people get started and they say, well, I've got to figure everything out before I start building my team. No, you don't, because we will teach both of you. You just start exposing people on your list, and some will get the membership and some will also join you in the business. And the ones that join you in the business, when you're new and you don't know what to do, it doesn't matter, because we're going to teach them. You can bring them into these environments, all of our training. You can do it together like Bill and I did. We did it together. Well, Bill's in my team because I'm the one that showed him this business. I got another friend, his name is Pat McGurn. I used to deliver furniture for a living. He was in that truck with me. And so, he was on my list. I showed him the business. Pat and his team have signed up over 1,000 people so far. I got to get a picture of Pat, but that's Proctor's Theater in Schenectady, New York. Our store where we delivered furniture out of the showroom was 2 doors down from Proctor's Theater in Schenectady. That's trivia none of you need. This is my mom, though. Oh, this is my mom. She's no longer with us, but this was a family business for us. I got my mom involved. She loved her membership, so I helped her get started in the business. When I got started in the business, this is the first time I ever took her to Cape Cod. Some of you that know, I've got a place in Cape Cod now. It's my favorite place in the world when I'm not home, to be on the beaches of Cape Cod, looking out over Cape Cod Bay. And this was the first time she ever came down, and I got to show her around, and she got to have this incredible business and kind of like a second life alongside of her career because of our family business. And this is my grandfather. He retired from the post office. He was, if you've ever read my book On Purpose, I think a lot of my grandfather, and he loved his membership too. And he loved talking to the attorneys, and they all knew him at the law firm in Vermont, where we're all from. And when I got started in the business, I asked him if he also wanted to be involved, and he said absolutely yes. And it was just so exciting to be able to do this business with my family. And it was a great additional, he had been retired. He was in the Army, he had an Army pension. He was in the National Guard. He was retired from being a postmaster for 30 years. It wasn't necessarily about the income for him. It was about the connection and having something to do and being a part of a community and feeling useful and feeling a part of something again. And I'm grateful that we had that time together, that we could do that. And this is our system. This is the whole system. And I got 4 minutes left with you, but this is all I need. This is our system, because all you have to do is think of it like a baseball diamond. This is the best way to visualize it. What do? Well, we make an exposure. We call that first base, and we have somebody watch the video. That's what making an exposure is. Have them watch the video, have them come to an event like what I just put on. We have these live events that are happening all over the place. In the old days, we had a VHS tape, but now we have websites and videos on websites. You have all this different ways you can get the same information into somebody's hands and into their mind. And then the great thing is, which I loved about this system since day one when I got started, is that once I exposed somebody to the fact that Legal Shield, the membership, ID Shield, the membership, and our business opportunity exists, I didn't have to answer their questions. When your prospects have been exposed, that's when the team reveals itself, because then we have leaders that'll step in. You'll learn about this in the training, but we'll all step in. We'll do 3-way calls. We'll jump on Zoom. We'll answer questions for your prospect. That might be a friend of yours, a family member of yours, someone from your church, someone you work with. Once you show them the video, they're going to have questions if they're interested. And any one of us will be happy to share our stories and answer their questions, and also invite them to another event. Maybe they want to see more information. Now, a lot of folks will just be ready to get started like you were tonight. Sometimes people need to see some more information, so they'll come out to a live event or they'll attend a Zoom. But your third-party expert is happy to do that for you, and we'll even help people get signed up because we know how to do it. So if you're brand new, you say, listen, I don't even know how to sign up somebody that wants to get started. That was me when Bill wanted to get started. I didn't even know how to sign him up because I was so new. Well, it doesn't take much for a prospect to see this information and to want to get started. But right now, you've got these experts. We'll even walk your prospects through how to get signed up. It's really that simple. And this is the business building system that took me out of a furniture delivery truck, took me out of 80 hours of working and commuting, took me out of choosing between food and gas, and changed my entire life. And I've met hundreds of people that have a similar story. And I know that can be your story as well. Now, I'm out of time. I got 2 minutes left. But remember when you saw this slide earlier, I showed you this slide. I just wanted to show you this. We have a lot of fun in this business. I know this is a business you're going to work and build from home or from wherever you are because of our mobile apps. But we have this Performance Club program where we get to have a ton of fun together. This is my daughter, Olive. She had her first birthday at Moon Palace in Cancun. I never saw the world growing up. Like, I went on an airplane for the first time in my 20s. I got my passport in my 30s. My wife loves it when I mentioned that I saw an escalator for the first time in my 20s as well. I mean, I lived in a small town in a small state. I never saw anything. But she has had a completely different life because of this business. As a matter of fact, because I just kind of took her everywhere. I've been traveling around and working with my team all over the country, and she had been on a plane a dozen times before she was 2. But has she been around the world? Yeah. Does she have a passport? Absolutely. So her first birthday, we had in Moon Palace at a Performance Club trip. Her second birthday, Atlantis in the Bahamas. For a while, the trips were working in conjunction with her birthday. Her third birthday was Jamaica. That's Timber Mosley and my daughter Olive hanging out in Jamaica. These trips, by the way, are all expenses paid, no expenses spared. I can tell you that for sure. Here we are in Cabo San Lucas. This is a shot of our room. That's the view of the ocean out through on the left-hand side. And then every room had a hot tub on the balcony as well, which was kind of cool. And the rooms were just phenomenal. And these are all-inclusive resorts, so it's just so much fun. Here I am now. The reason I'm all bundled up here, that is actually a picture of me, but I'm on a glacier in Iceland. We drove snowmobiles across a glacier. We drove these big trucks across a lava field. We toured Iceland and Reykjavik and all over Iceland for 6 days on a trip. And you have to be in Performance Club to do these. We just went to Hawaii last year. I know I'm out of time, but these are the kids. This is Olive, and these are all the Legal Shield kids growing up together. And we want you to walk the beaches of the world with us. And there's mentors that are standing by right now. Like, people in these pictures are real people, and they're winning in this business. And your story is the next one we're going to tell. So now that you've joined, that's one thing, and it's worth celebrating, but let's get your business started now that you've joined. let's get you started right away. So I'm going to leave this screen up for you. Again, this is Mr. Self. Everybody has a day one. Today's your day one. This PPLSI First Step is available in English, Spanish, and French. The training is available to you right now. It's 10:01 p.m. Eastern. Wherever you are, it's not too late to start your training. It's an incredibly quick, concise training program. And listen, if you just joined this business, you're staring at the ceiling tonight if you try to go to bed anyway, thinking about all the possibility. All I'm suggesting is dig into this training right now. Learn this simple, highly duplicatable, proven system so that you can learn exactly how wide open your future really is. Thanks for joining me today. For those of you that just got started, congratulations. And for all of us, congratulations, because you and I together are bringing equal access to equal justice to every corner of every community in the United States and Canada. The work that we do is important, noble, and it must be done. We're doing it together. And for that, I celebrate you and thank you for being on this journey with me. Good night, everybody.